A very special hello to all my new friends. Thank you so much for watching these videos with me. Okay, so today I have awesome content. So I wanted to watch people who have been abducted by aliens. And so I think it's really, really great that we watch a few videos, see if we have anything in common with these people, if it could trigger any memories for you. Because you know what? The first time I started watching these videos, it triggered a lot of memories for me personally. So I thought that would be a great experience, and then maybe I'll pull an angel card at the end. So let's watch some videos. Guys, I know I'm always singing my words, but just please, just stay with me. Okay, let's watch this young lady here.
Hi, my name is Marilyn and I am RH negative O. I do have low heart rate. I do have my eyesight literally bothers me because of the sun. I'm also have an extra vertebrae, which I had a car accident not so long ago, and they did x-ray and they told me that I had an extra vertebrae also. I also have been abducted by alien when I was 19 years old. This was in 1992 when this happened. And then it came back again on 1997 when I had my children. And it's gonna be hard for a lot of people to come and believe me, but my family know and my children know, they're witnesses to this. And it happened also while I was with one of my daughters and with my mom up in D-Land, in Florida D-Land. And they've been coming to me since I was 4 years old. And they abducted me when I was 19 on 1992. And they took me to Mars. I saw Mars. I saw a planet that was made out of ice, and I saw Saturn. A lot of people is not gonna believe, but I know what happened to me was real, and this is something that I've been carrying with me for so long. And also my children knows the experience that I've been going through, also because they've been going through the same experience as me as well. And I just wanted to let people know, and I wanted to share my story with a lot of people, and to let people know that they're not alone on this. I never know that I couldn't find the words in how to come out with it, but I'm glad that I could come out with it now and let people know what happened to me is real. And this is an experience that I've been going through this throughout my whole life, and I need somebody to come in also help me through this process. I need to find out even more about what's going on when I was abducted. There's things that I don't remember, but there's things that I do remember about what happened. Thank you so much for your time and getting on video. And I need some help, and I need somebody to come and be able to let me know, like hypnosis or something, to find out what else has been going on. Please hit me up on my comment, on doctor or somebody.
Honestly, like, the more she meditates, I believe that the more her memories will come back, because my memories come back times when I'm in meditation, like so I think that she should try to meditate a lot.
Hi everyone. My name is Marilyn Trevino, and I'm gonna share part 2 about what happened to me when I got abducted. I know a lot of people got questions that wants me to come and answer, so I'm here to answer them all. This happened when it was 1992, and this was in Miramar, Florida. I was living at some apartments that it had 6. It was on the 6th floor, and I remember that I was meditating in my room, and out of nowhere, you know, I just felt like something was just staring at me from my balcony. And when I looked at my balcony at that moment, right there, instantly, I saw un platillo volador, which is an alien ship. And it was like within seconds, boom, it took me up. And I saw my whole body. Literally, I was stiff. I couldn't move. And I remember I seen like if it was darkness beneath me, but I was I was underneath where the alien ship was at, but there was colors, and I was going in to the ship. And I could still see the like the space, but it's all black with lights, like white lights, like stars, you know. And this is something that is really hard for me to come and share, because a lot of people really don't, you know, don't how do you call it, don't care about how you feel or nothing like that, you know. But this is what happened to me. And when I was under the inside of the ship, I remember that everything was all black on the inside. And as I'm going down, my feet are stiff, my hands are stiff, and there's colors that's coming around me, like lights all around me. I see a lot of colors, man. And let me tell you, I was so scared. My heart was literally pounding so hard when this was happening. You know, I couldn't believe what was going on with me, you know. And I remember every time I talk about it, you know, my heart literally starts pounding because of what happened. And so I look on the side of me, and there's a little alien man standing beside me, which is really small, which I haven't touched the floor yet. I was like this much from touching the floor. And it was a little one, a gray little alien. And then on the other side, there was another one too, a gray little alien on my left-hand side. And when I touched the floor felt really, really cold. But it was all black. It looked like if it was mirrors, like a black mirror. And when I'm still looking, I could look all around. Everything is black in front of me, everything. Every direction that I'm looking is black, but it looked like glass black mirrors. But it was big. It was like far from a good distance, I say, like 200 feet from in front of me. It's just so crazy how big it was on the inside. And what I remember is that the little aliens were standing next to me. Sailor! And then I'm looking in front of me, and then I see this giant gray alien, long neck with a big head, and the eyes slanted. And next thing I know is he's mentally speaking to me, you know, telling me that don't be afraid, you know. And right there I started feeling a little bit more calm, you know, because it was such incredible. Literally my tears was falling down because I was so scared for one, you know. And then seeing a big alien in front of me, which is a great big alien. He was like 11, 12 feet tall. It was really big. Just in case people are wondering how tall was he. But this one was really big. And he had a black, long, literally like a cape that goes down. Not a cape, but something like what the royals be wearing. And it was, on the inside was red. And on the outside was all black. But he was super tall. And I remember me touching the skin. And it was like a lizard type, you know, but it was gray. You know, like the skin was, I always say, like a lizard type, right? Like a iguana, you know. So, but out of nowhere, he's showing me this. Out of nowhere, he told me, telepathically, he tells me, I'm going to show you something. And the reason why is because you need to know what is going on. And I'm thinking like, this is incredible. I'm soaking all of this in as it is, you know. And I'm just looking, and I see the side of the alien ship just opens like really long, like a long strip, and it was really big. And I see space, but and I remember so vividly the sound of the ship, which it was like a humming sound, but it was incredible. I could still like hear it. That's one thing that it stays in me. And I see space, and he goes, "I'm gonna show you this planet." And it was a planet of ice. It was all ice. All right. It was beautiful. It was like green, blue, the color of white. It was ice, like ice, and it's a giant planet. And it said that there was living people that stays there. And I don't know if we landed or not. I don't remember, but I know we passed by it. And the next thing I know, and then there's Saturn. You know, we passed through Saturn. And I remember very vividly the big gas that's in the middle with the ring that goes around it. It was so incredible. What I was seeing, it was like, look at this. I'm swallowing it. Like all of this is like, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. And why me? You know, why I was picked. And I said, why am I being picked for this? And I couldn't understand why. And then still I didn't hear no answer. But I do remember he goes, I'm going to show you where we come from. And then next thing I know, I see Mars. And we landed in Mars. Literally, I see the red planet. And I had that long strip, some big piece that was missing on the side of the planet. And we landed there. When we landed, he told me this is where he came from, and this is where we come from. I didn't understand the time where did we came from, because at the time I wasn't thinking, what do you mean we? I too, I didn't know. So I'm going and seeing what he's showing me, all right. And so there was plants, trees, beautiful colors of flowers, a giant mountain that was waterfalls that was coming down. And we landed, and I couldn't believe it. There was these giant leaves that I wrapped myself around in. And it was so incredible. And next thing I know, um, he, the way how before we landed, I forgot to say, he did something to me for me to come and be able to breathe, because my chest was literally hurting, and I was telling him that I couldn't breathe. And he came in, he did something to me that I was able to breathe, walking out of there, literally out of the ship. So follow me on part 3, because I know this year is almost finishing. But so it was incredible what was going on, and what I was seeing is like, I'm not gonna forget about this. It is impossible for me to forget about this, about what's going on. But follow me for part 3.
That is absolutely amazing. And you know what? It's just so amazing how that her memory is so vivid. Cause I have memories, but like I can't remember. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you. Like you know what I mean? Like she's able to describe stuff. Like the most I can say that like, and most of the things I did remember, I was convinced that I was like dreaming. Like your parents tell you that these things are fake, and then like and so I don't know, but the most I can tell you is I remember having fun with an alien. Like not like like as a kid. I was a kid. So I don't know. I don't know. Like wow, like she's able to describe so much, Like she's able to describe so much. And I know they do take you, because I remember when they came into my room as a child and I did that past life regression course, they said that they had different versions of me, which for some strange, odd reason, it's like I feel like I don't know, it's just so weird. Like I feel like I've met one or two, like face to face, and I, even when I'm saying that to you, for some strange reason, it's like I can picture them, like literally, like I can picture their nose, like their nose and their like I don't know. It's just so odd. It's just so odd, but man, I want some new memories. I want some new memories. Yeah, take me to space with you, space siblings.
It climbed over me and made love to me. And I noticed that unlike normal women, its breasts were set too high in its chest, and they were very, very hard in appearance. And that here, the pubic hair as well as the hair in the armpits, was a fiery red, as if it had been dyed. And this thing didn't even blink. Its eyes were just like this, looking at you as if there was no liquid in the eyes. Just an unblinking, terrible stare. And it was a small creature, about the size of a 16-year-old girl. But it was very, very heavy as it sat on top of me. And there was no emotion in that whole nonsense. There was no, and then the creatures took me out of that room after the metal creature and this pink creature had gone. This creature took me out of that room, assisted by another one, and they pushed me along a corridor which curved slowly in that direction, towards my right. And there I was shown many things which even today I don't understand. I was shown little versions of this creature swimming in huge cylinders made out of what looked like glass, in a pinkish liquid, like ugly little frogs inside the liquid. They looked like aborted human fetuses. They were very, very terrible and disgusting. And then we came to another room. It climbed over me, and
The man said there was no emotion in that whole nonsense. Oh, I'm sorry, but that was funny. Like that was funny. That was funny. Come on, that was funny. He said there was no emotion in that whole nonsense. Never enjoyed it at all. Like what the hell is this crap? Wheeze! You know how much stories I watched like that of them because they're making hybrids. Oh, did I? Can't remember. Yeah, no. I'll go back. That was funny though.
One of the best documented cases of face-to-face alien contact occurred in Virginia, Brazil, in 1996, often referred to as the Virginia UFO incident. It is said that a UFO crashed, and live beings escaped, later to be captured by the local military. James Fox, a renowned documentary maker, elaborates on an intriguing aspect of the event.
Look, these two doctors, during a procedure, the creature had a wound somewhere. They were trying to fix it. And all of a sudden, the creature kind of comes more to life. It was alive, but it kind of comes to life, and it communicates with the two doctors telepathically. And apparently the telepathic communication was, I feel sorry for you humans. You have no idea about your potential, who you really are.
One of the best documented cases.
That's some deep shit. Like, come on, that is deep because we really like. Everyone's walking around like friggin' zombies, literally. Like they're stuck. They're glued to this matrix. Nobody is even. I remember, like, look at the despicable person that my father is, right? And I remember saying to him, like, Dad, let's do some healing. Like, let's figure out who we really are, you know? And he said he's comfortable being the person that he is. Nobody wants change. Everybody loves to lay down with their demons, like, bask in the energy of evilness and wickedness. Them love it foolishness, man. Nobody wants, like, they see people with telekinesis and doing all kind of different things. And like, oh, that's fake. And then everything is demonic. Like, God forbid you have a prophetic dream or you tell them something that's prophetic. Oh, all of a sudden you go to the graveyard now and work witchcraft. Oh, coming from my relatives, right? So it's like, nobody wants to wake up for real. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you just see all the comments calling them demons and stuff. Like, everything is demonic to these people. Literally every single thing is demonic to them. They don't know like what's going on. They're not interested in it because they're scared. They're literally terrified. Somebody could, like, literally, you can sit down and find somebody right now in the worst of the worst conditions, worst situations, and try to convince them to find themselves, and they still don't want to. They still don't like. That's why it's like, me personally, with some people, I just leave them alone, because it's like, when I hit rock bottom, I'm like, I'm gonna find myself. But a lot of people, they hit rock bottom and they want to look this. I guess it's not rock bottom. Like, they need to go lower, because it's like, nothing is going to trigger the effect that, let me find myself, like, nothing's going to trigger that. Because when you start to look into yourself, you start to realize. But I feel like, well, I always deep down knew, but maybe that's because of my experiences, right? But I feel like deep down we should all know how powerful we are, and that, there is more to us that meets the surface. There is no way we could just be these mere humans walking around with no purpose. No, like, we weren't born to work for other people and then to just die miserable and angry. That's not why we were here. We weren't put here for that purpose, right? Obviously. Come on. There has to be something special about you. Even you, like, let's say you sat down to watch this video with me, right? You have to be on a certain frequency. Like, there must be a reason, a sign. Like, take this as your sign to look within yourself, because why else would you be sitting here listening to me talk on about this? Like, there has to be something special about you in particular, right? You in particular. So it's like, take this as an opportunity to see how powerful you are, the being within you, because we are not just mere humans like they want us to believe, right? We are something more grand. The power that's within you is so big that you wouldn't even, like, you would be mesmerized by your own power. You will be mesmerized, but you just gotta find yourself, figure it out, put your power out into even if people think you're crazy, who cares? People think I'm crazy every single day. Who cares? That's them. You're cool. The hell. So let's watch another video. I think I watched this a long time ago, like years.
Why were they gathering eggs and this, and they told me they were making a hybrid race.
And for what job?
They didn't want. I wanted to know for what, but they never.
Okay.
Never.
Listen, most of us are already hybrid races. So the fact that everyone's literally walking around thinking they're the aliens when we're aliens is amazing. Find yourself, guys. Come on. We're actually cool beings, like super cool beings.
Gave an inkling of what it was for, of what this hybrid race would be doing, where it would be, or what. My grandfather died in 1940. So this was in the 1930s when these things were happening with them. She said they would be sitting on the side porch at night, and they would see lights over the oil wells, and a lot of times they would see what they thought were little children dressed in white running around the oil wells. And on several times they saw it in the daytime. They would see these little children dressed in white, and once or twice they got up to go see if they could catch the little children and find out who they were, and they would start out, but by the time they would get there, the children would be gone. My main concept was creating a hybrid breed. At least that's what they told me, that they were trying to create a race of people that could live in our atmosphere and in their atmosphere. And they had not yet produced that person. Now, on another occasion, I remembered being shown a baby that really favored my grandson a lot. If you would, give it the slant eyes. They weren't as big as their eyes, but it looked human. And I knew that this was my child, and I wanted to take that child with me, but they said that it would not be able to live in this atmosphere. Well, I know that it was physical, because if I did not get out of that car, where did I get all that dirt that was up to here on me? If I just stepped out of the car and looked up, because we were on pavement. So it's no way that I could have got that much dirt on me just standing outside a car on the street looking. And that's the first thing that let me know that it was real. And beside this knot, which might be, you could say that it could be anything. The bruises are real. Nobody is beating me up in my sleep. Because if anybody hit me that hard, I would wake up. And the places where I have the bruises, I couldn't give them to myself. And like I said, if I bumped into something that hard, I would certainly remember it. So it's real to me. It's not really a frightening experience. It's just, it happens, and it doesn't leave you frightened. I think the thing that frightened me the most was that I was not consciously aware of what had happened, and I did not know what to put these ships with. I didn't have anything concrete to say, well, they're coming to do this or that. I just had the frightening feeling. And after I found out what had happened, I was at peace with what had happened, knowing that there's nothing that I can do about it, because I can't stop them. Nobody can stop them from doing what they want to do. Nobody on this earth, because they are too far advanced mentally and technologically we don't have a defense at all.
Like they do magic.
Yeah, they could come in today and take over if that was their desire. But like I said, I don't feel it's their desire to take over through violence, and they don't care about governments. See, government control is not their thing. They want bodies, and they want minds that are going to do what they want the minds to do, but they need the bodies to do whatever it is with. And that's where we come in. Ask them.
They definitely do make different versions of us, little people, I know that for sure.
So apparently we know of 69 different alien species.
69.
A catalog of 69 different species, different life forms. There's one species that at full adulthood is about 1.5 feet. There's another species that's 10 or 12 feet. The ones that people often refer to are around 3 to 4 feet, 39 inches or so tall. We have very good forensic drawings from men who've been on the retrieval teams of what these various species look like. The reason they keep coming back, number one, it's not a coincidence that the modern era of all this started when we started detonating atomic bombs. What Edward Teller and Oppenheimer didn't understand when they were developing that is that when you detonate an atomic bomb, you get, everybody knows about an electromagnetic pulse, the pulse that goes out, knocks out all electronic communication. What people didn't know about is there's also a pulse of what's called scalar energy. And scalar is faster than the speed of light.
So apparently we know of 69 different aliens.
You guys are learning a lot about aliens today, aren't you? So let's watch this one.
My name is Rachel Hoffman, and I think I was abducted by aliens 7 times since 1984. I'm the mother of 4 children, and I live in Hudson Valley. I was 4 years old the first time that I was abducted. I'm one of 4 children at the time, and we were all sleeping in the same bed together, and I was on the edge of the bed when I felt something lifting me up. I felt gravity with my hair falling backwards and my nightgown falling backwards as I was taken out of a window and brought up into the vessel. The ship, it was so cold. I was freezing. Every hair on my body was standing up. I don't think I was supposed to see what I saw. The room had tables, and the tables had hands and feet, arms and legs that didn't have bodies attached to them. Next to that, there were embryos. I also saw a fetus in a jar. I was 4 years old, and the fetus was as big as me. It looked like an experiment gone wrong. When they had me on the table, they were doing ultrasounds on my abdomen. They were poking and prodding. They were taking bits and pieces of me. They were robbing my body parts, and they were taking my eggs. I remember thinking to myself, I just want my dad. I just want my dad. And then I woke up. When I was 6 years old, I saw an arm above me of a robot with a needle in it. And the needle came down and began to extract fluid from the center of my nose. When the needle went in, it felt like it went straight through my bone into my brain. Each time this was done to me, I didn't even blink, and I never closed my eyes. As the needle went back up into the ceiling of the ship, I was picked up by the alien that brought me back and forth. I used to call him the butler. The butler looked like an octopus out of water. They have hands with suction cups. That's what holds them to the ship. The last time that I was abducted, I was 13 years old, and I said, "Who are you and what do you want from me?" It was the loudest voice I've ever heard. And it said, "I'm God." And that was the last interaction I had. My name is Rachel Hoffman, and
Damn. Probably said I'm God, so I don't know.
And it'd be gone. On the third night, I'm sitting there in my bed, and I look over across the room, and there's just this orb of light, probably about softball size, just an orb of light. I look over at it, see it, and it just floats off into my ceiling and is gone. It got so bad that I left the basement. After that third night, I said, I'm not sleeping in the basement anymore. And I moved upstairs to the upstairs room that's on the outer edge of the house. And that was when the abduction started. I don't know exactly when it started. I just know that I would go into these dreams. It started out more violent, then it got more simple because there was a full week straight where I was having wet dreams every night. I was having different creatures and that were women and just different stuff. And I would wake up and I would look at my pants and sometimes there'd be nothing and sometimes they would just, and then I'd wake up in my bed and I'd hear this sound outside my room every single time. It just sounded like a saucer. It was just like this. So what I believe happened is they initially were like, hey, buddy, you know, we're not from here. We kind of want to do some tests. We don't know what you are. You don't know what we are. Like, let's figure out what we are. They had no other option but to just take me and do their tests.
I believe you. Let's listen to Bashar's take on it because you know.
There's a movie called Alien.
Yes.
And I saw it
Yes.
And after seeing it, I was haunted for 10 years.
Oh, how exciting.
I would have literally night terrors of this thing coming at me that was coming out of the stomach of the
Well,
character.
actually, no, you don't. What happened is you're having encounters with other beings. Those memories have been suppressed. And when you saw the movie, it triggered on an unconscious level the encounters that you had that were fearful for you. So it's not actually the movie that's doing it. The movie triggered something that's actually happened in your life that you're not.
Okay.
Are you sure you understand?
Well, I understand. I don't know.
Do you
that I want to
understand the
accept
concept
it.
on your planet that has been labeled alien abduction?
Yes.
Well, you're a part of that.
Was I abducted?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Many times.
Oh my God.
And the idea, therefore, is that even though those memories of that abduction were suppressed, the movie triggered it to a degree that haunts you because it's telling you there's something else there. There's something you don't quite remember that's real. It's not the movie that's real. It's your experience that it's reminding you of. It doesn't mean that the experience was actually something to be afraid of. All it is saying is that it's reminding you that you were afraid in the experience because you felt out of control and they were what you would consider to be alien beings. Yes? You follow me so far?
Yeah.
All right.
It just causes more questions.
Oh, well, I understand, and I'm about to answer a couple of them.
Okay.
The beings that you typically call the Greys that are involved with that particular encounter scenario are not actually aliens in the strictest sense of that term. As we have already mentioned, they are actually a mutated race of humans from a parallel Earth that destroyed their reality, lost the ability to reproduce, and knew that the only way to reconstruct their culture was to, in a sense, shift to a parallel reality that still contained humans with viable DNA, blend that genetic material with their own to create a hybrid race, one of which...
Do you guys remember in that, I made a video a few videos back about aliens, I think? And the alien did say that. He did say that. He said that he was from a race that they used to, you know, humans, they destroyed themselves. He did say exactly what Bashar just said. He said that.
Which perpetuated their society. You, on a higher level, agreed to participate in that, even though your physical mind doesn't really remember. But on a spirit level, you agreed to participate in that, and one of the beings that you actually encountered in that particular experience was actually a parallel version of you in that society. Is this making any more sense?
I have never been speechless in my entire life. I don't even know it. Yeah.
All right.
It is making sense.
Here's a suggestion for you. Don't run from the fear, run toward it, because it's just a dark glass that you can break through. And when you break through on the other side, you will wake up into an understanding of what's going on and start remembering more about your intentional part in the entire agenda of what's going on, which is connected to the evolution of your planet. Because eventually your world will become what we term the sixth hybrid race. These encounters is part of that experience. Yes?
Yes.
So you have agreed to participate in this. And if you ask for more clarity when you go to sleep, ask for more clarity, more awareness, more remembrance, it will be given to you eventually. Because you'll be coming from a position of strength, a position of equality. You will know that you're not really out of control. You will understand your part in the entire program, and you will gain more confidence in your ability to communicate more clearly with those beings and more consciously be aware of what's going on and have more apparent control in that situation. Make sense?
Yes. I have something that, now I have another question
Yes.
regarding that. Those gray people?
Yes.
Are they sort of acting as angels in my life?
Well, not exactly. They do watch over you from time to time, but not exactly in the way you mean it when you use the term angel. There is an angelic level to consciousness, an angelic realm, and spirits that in that sense guide you and watch you.
The gray beings from time to time sort of participate in that way, but not in the same way that you think of when you think of angels. Does that make sense?
Yes. Have they saved my life 3 times? That's why I'm asking. I've had 3 miraculous things happen.
Well, they have been involved in it, but that also involved higher levels of being. In other words, we sense that at least on one of those occasions, you actually did die. But you were given a choice to continue the life without knowing you had died. That's possible, you know. Because all you're doing is shifting into a parallel reality where a version of you still exists. And you just continue on as if nothing happened, or perhaps at the very most, you think, oh, well, how did I get out of that scrape? I don't know. You didn't, actually. But it is made to seem as if you did.
Okay, can I just say this?
Yes, you can just say whatever you want.
Last year, February, I fell downstairs, landed face first on concrete.
You broke your neck. You died.
And I had not a scratch on my face when I woke up.
Because it wasn't you that fell down the stairs. You're in a different body, in a different reality. So similar, you don't know that it's not the same one. But it might as well be, because it still fulfills the theme that you're exploring. It's close enough. Make sense? Oh, she's speechless again. Does this help you?
I'm gonna need a drink after this.
All right.
You know
Why
what?
don't we just say, for now, let it soak in, let it sink in, let yourself absorb it in whatever way, shape, or form works for you. And I will simply at this moment bid you pleasant dreams.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was so insightful. Okay, so someone in the comment, I just want to address this comment. He says that the Anunnaki blended their genetic material with us to create what we are. What? Homo erectus? Now he claims the Greys create us as a hybrid. Okay, so yes, the Anunnaki had blended their genetics with us, but guess what? We are not all one race. That's why the Greys come in too. And some of us have a mixture of Greys, Anunnaki, Lyrans. Like, you know, we have a mixture of these different genetic makeups within us. So there you go for that. So did you enjoy watching these videos with me? Please let me know. And thank you so much for being my friends. You know, I really appreciate it. I love coming and making videos because I know someone's gonna watch it with me, you know. I like having friends. So like, thanks. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Deep and green, fairies dance like shadows seen.